Hi, my name's Caitlin, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing the philosophy of leadership through taking my leadership course at NAIT. So, in this course, I we had to look at a variety of different leaders, different approaches that some leaders may take, and reflect them onto yourself as far as what kind of leader you see yourself as being. So, I see myself as being a fairly optimistic person. I really like to listen to other people's ideas, but at times I can be very stubborn. So I like to take charge. I like to use my knowledge if I can. So I think that sometimes definitely being more open to other people's thoughts is something that I could work on. Um, but the way that I was able to use this course or reflect it back to my life was really looking at different jobs I've been a part of, different sports teams, schools, everything like that. So some managers that I've had in past work environments have been better than others. But after taking this course, I don't know if they're necessarily better, but they may have fit my style that I prefer more, because they may have seemed good to some other people, just depending on where their mindset is and how their mind frame works with that individual. So some people use status in an effective way. Some people use status in a way such as on a sports team, being a captain or being a coach. They can really use their status to encourage other people, and with bringing that positive attitude, they can really help others to come together as a team and work as a unit rather than working against each other. But then some other people will use status in some work environments that I experienced personally, and they'll use status in a way that they have an entitlement over you and they have a superiority, and they will direct you in a very bossy manner. But I learned that maybe they're just not a bad leader. They're just different from how I personally would handle the situation. So I think I want to, after taking this course, be a little bit more open-minded to the fact that they might not be trying to be condescending or overpowering, overbearing. They may just be using their leadership skills in a different way than what I would be. We talked about servant leadership in this program and how we believe that personal trainers may be servant leaders, and that was something that I actually really strongly believe. So being that I've had a trainer for the past almost 3 years, in a way I could really relate to this, that it's not that he is a servant to me, but the things that he does really work for me, and he does his best to work for me and help me to achieve what I want to. So I don't necessarily think that a servant leader is a bad thing, and I don't think servant leadership is a bad thing. I think it's just something different, and I think that in the right environment, it can be actually extremely effective. But one of my favorite assignments throughout this entire course was probably one of our most recent, and that was when we took the video and we had to watch it and then write down a bunch of goals or things that we would like to do, and then separately from that had to write down our but whys we couldn't do it. And this is something that it really touched with me. I really, really liked this assignment because I found it really forced me to personally think about why I do this, because I know consciously that I do this all the time. I'll think about something that I really want to achieve or something that I'd like to do, and then I always come back at myself with well, you can't because of this reason. And I just found it very interesting how your brain can be so controlling over you, and the way that you use your attitude, it really causes you to focus on that area rather than the other area. So for this example, with always using a but why, it's really focusing your attention on the negative concept rather than the positive concept and what could be the outcome. So for me, that's something after doing that assignment, I know I really, really need to work on. I need to work on just looking at the positives that could come out of it rather than focusing on why I can't do something and why I should do it rather, because I know that it's something that I struggle with. And going into personal fitness training, it's something you need to acknowledge yourself in order to help other people overcome that, because in physical fitness journeys, anything like that you'll be helping people go through, they're going to have a lot of why I can't do it. So if you tell someone, no, you can run a half marathon, and then they say, well, but I can't because I don't have time, you have to be able to help them and encourage them to focus on the positive aspects rather than just simply looking at the reasons why they can't achieve it. And once they start focusing on the positives, it's going to make it a lot easier for them to start to tackle that. My trainer had to do that with me when I did my first bikini competition. I had mentioned it a year prior that I really, really, really wanted to do a bikini competition. It was something that was a goal that I had set out for myself that I wanted to achieve. And I kept saying, well, it's expensive, so I can't, or it's a really big commitment and I can't, or it's a huge mental game and I'm not there yet. And then finally, I ended up just saying, no, I want to achieve this, I want to do it, and I know I can, I just need to force myself to do it. So with that being said, he really helped me to get to that point where I would focus on the positives rather than just looking at all the negatives. And he helped me budget, and he helped me figure out that it was a lot more manageable than what I was making it out to be. And I wasn't looking at that because I was so absorbed in just the negative outcomes that could come from it, and that I would be without all this money and I wouldn't have as much time to do things that I wanted to do, maybe something different, and I would struggle mentally. But he ended up helping me get past all of that, and I ended up completing it 6 months after I decided to do it, and it was probably one of the most personal development experiences I've ever ran into. So it really forced me to push myself beyond my limits and beyond what I thought I was capable of doing, which that was a huge deal to me because I was really struggling with confidence. I was really, really struggling with really bad anxiety, and being able to push myself past that and go on stage and stand in front of hundreds of people in a bikini and show what I had accomplished and what I had worked for was a huge game changer for me. And it's something that I would ideally like to do in the future, but now I am working towards doing my first half marathon, which is something that I've never done before. Once again, it's scary, it's exciting, but it's something that I need to start looking at the positives rather than the negatives, because if I start to focus on the positives, I'm really going to understand that it's only a grain of sand and not a mountain. So this is something that I would ideally like to do, but this leadership course really helped me to discover that especially, and that's something that I found really, really helped me in this course, and I think I'm probably going to carry it with me for a long time. So thank you for listening, and